I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Oh, Great American Pillow Fight coming at you.
Take me out. Somebody just turned the go switch on these suckers and people are moving a lot faster. Something's going on and I ain't ready.
On behalf of Jumping Off Sides, we'd like to thank our presenting sponsors, Rubber Boot Crawfish Company. With 2 locations to serve you on Uri Drive and Mansfield Road, don't forget to ask about the 5-pound box special. Tell them Jumping Off Sides sent you. Welcome to episode 27 of Jumping Off Sides, week 11, correct?
Yes, sir.
College football days are numbered at this point, and I'm hating every second of it. But tonight we're joined by some amazing men. Of course, J.V. Lyles, John David's in the house. J.D., Mike Pearson is here. And Mike, we have a special guest tonight, and I want you to do the introductions.
Boys, I'm excited to introduce this guy who's a college teammate of mine, good friend. Just one of those kind of QBs you go to war with any day of the week. So without further ado, we've got number 8, Rex Grossman for the Florida Gators. Was there from 99 to 02. Man, his list of accolades goes on and on. He was the College Player of the Year in 01. He was consensus All-American in 2001. He was the SEC Player of the Year in 2001. He was first-team All-SEC in 2001. He's a Florida-Georgia Hall of Fame game. He's an SEC legend. He was a first-round pick and had a great 11-year career in the NFL. But this guy could keep going on, and I still say this, and maybe because he was a teammate, but he is the greatest quarterback in Florida Gator history, in my opinion.
All right, let's go.
And just a guy that I would go to battle with any day of the week. And my boy and number 8 in the playbook, but number 1 in our hearts, Rex Grossman.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you. Hey, what an introduction by my left tackle that made it all happen, man. I appreciate it, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be fun to hang out with you guys for a little bit and talk some football.
Yeah, congrats too on becoming an SEC legend. You know, I saw that you got that a week or two ago, and congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you. That's SEC football is the best sport of any league, any sport, and to be honored in that way is really cool. So I'm not sure what goes along with that if we got to go to Atlanta and wave to the crowd at halftime or something, but the honor is super cool. I'm excited about it. So couldn't have done it without Mike P. So I appreciate the introduction, and yeah, it's going to be fun to hang out with you guys.
Listen, when that guy got rid of the ball with less than 2 seconds, I didn't have to block very long when he was ripping the touchdown. So
yeah.
Yeah. There is one stat I'd like to talk about too that that you missed, but we all know it, and that's 2001 should have been Heisman Trophy winner, the first sophomore too. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was we had a special year that year. Everybody was talented across the board. We had a great team on offense and defense. The line was good on both sides of the ball. We had great receivers, great running backs, and we were on a roll there. And with Coach Spurrier calling plays, and he had trusted me at that point to do some audibles, and we were able to really get after some people. But, man, we came up short in a game that we probably should have won. And then they voted for the Heisman right after that. So, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it, obviously Rex has to maybe talk about more than he cares to, but it still just irks me the fact that he doesn't have that one. Not that he needs it to solidify everything he did, but I just think it it just was well earned and one of those deals where had we lived up and scored a couple more points, we'd have a different conversation.
Yeah, well, I think you said the Associated Press named me Player of the Year, so I'll take that. Whatever, it's all good. Sorry, I'm a little sick.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, I just wish we'd have got a national championship that year because we had the team to do it, and but it is what it is.
Yep.
Now, how long did the 55 touchdowns you threw that year? How long did that stay a record?
That wasn't in 1 year, but I don't know. I don't think I threw 55 that year. I think maybe that was
total. I mean, the total touchdowns passed.
Yeah. I mean, my whole experience at Florida was awesome. I wanted to play for a coach that threw the ball a lot and was in the top 5, competing for championships. And I was lucky enough to find a guru genius that put me in great positions to have a lot of opportunities to make those plays. So, my list of things I wanted out of college, man, they checked off all of them. So I was put in a good situation and creating a lot of opportunities with time to throw and athletes to go get it. And there's such a cool environment in the swamp, and it doesn't get any better.
Now, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I still just remember his first start, and it's just like, I mean, the freaking fireworks that happened, and we've talked about it a few times, Rex. Even now with the new kid at Florida, DJ Lagway versus Graham Mertz, and kind of a similar situation, if you will, between you and Brock and JP. We loved each and every one of you, but for whatever reason, when you went out there, it was like just freaking here we go, fireworks, and it was just one of those deals it was very cool for me to just be a part of that and watch it, because there were times when, it'd be 9,000 degrees and you'd come in the huddle and say, all right, you guys ready to get out of here? Yeah. And then just here goes, pop the top off, and we're back on the sideline sucking Gatorade down. It was just so much fun.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, only thing you complained about is we didn't run the ball enough. We'd come to the sidelines. He would get after Coach Spurrier a little bit. Run the damn ball. So, but it's probably more fun to run block a little bit, I'm sure.
Well, it just kept people honest, because at a certain point they knew. And I'd always had your dad every game be like, "Man, you're doing a great job keeping my boy clean." I'm like,
absolutely.
I know, but if we could run it 1 or 2 more times, I could make sure he doesn't get any hits.
Yeah. Yeah, but man, I wish everyone could experience, running out on the swamp and throwing a touchdown pass and getting hyped like that, celebrating with your boys. It is absolutely a thrill. And to get in on a good team and have everything kind of rolling like that is special,
Oh, absolutely.
Well, when he would come to the huddle and say, let's get back to the sidelines, that leads me to the next thing. Tell me your favorite play. I think I have a pretty good idea what it is, but if you were calling the play in the huddle, what would it be?
My favorite play is just a go route, or some sort of double move.
What's the terminology, Mikey?
Yeah, he knows the play, Rex. So tell him what.
Well, you got to tell me.
Just little blue slide steamers. Just
yeah. Blue slide steamers. Yeah, that was just our, if we're in 3-by-1, the third receiver would cross the field, but that's mainly a 2-by-2, all go, and if they're deep, you're kind of hitting the tight end or slot receiver. But if they come up man and try to challenge Rashae Caldwell or Jabbar Gaffney or any of those boys, all you got to do is, hold the safety and try to drop one in, because they're going to stack the defender and give you room to fade to them. And, they were special. I had a group of receivers that were awesome. So,
sometimes I will sit there and you get to tell guys about who you played with, and the fact that you got, which I think Jabbar Gaffney still to this day is one of the smoothest receivers I've ever. He was one of those guys where kind of like Hopkins a little bit. I guess he's with the Chiefs now, but where they look like they're not trying, but it's just because they're so smooth. Yeah. Then you've got a guy like Rashae that is just out of this world athlete. Then you got, Taylor Jacobs is your third option. I mean, that's a pretty fun thing. Then you got Big A-Walk, 6'7", 270 tight end.
Aaron
And then you
Walker
got
was a beast.
Ernest Graham and Robert Gillespie, running around in the backfield making plays. It's just a fun time in Florida football.
Yeah, my true freshman year, they put me on scout team with Jabbar Gaffney. We were both true freshmen, and back then they were live on us every single day in practice. Like they would go ahead and hit you, and it was full tackle. And I had to learn how to get the ball out quick, and doing that, you have to anticipate a lot. And Jabbar I knew exactly where he'd be, and we developed that camaraderie that whole season. And then we were redshirt freshmen together, and took me a few games to get in there, but he got in right away and did some great things. But once I got started, I knew where I was going with football. My first start against LSU with your dumbass sweatshirt.
Here we go.
Got it.
We had three touchdowns, and then we played Auburn and had 5 touchdowns.
5 in the first half, boys.
Yeah, and I think 3 of them were to Jabbar again. So to have a great player like that develop with you was really cool. And then got to play with them with the Redskins in 2011, which was super fun too.
Okay.
Yeah.
JD, you knew that was coming eventually.
I had to give you something.
How many has LSU won in a row?
Yeah.
Let's see, 19, 20, 21.
They didn't beat me and Rexy. I know
5
that.
in a row.
Yeah.
They didn't beat us. I know that.
Go, Rex.
Yeah.
How did Coach Spurrier come up with the nickname? I gotta know that.
I think there's more people named Rex than you think, and I think Sexy Rexy is more more common than you think. It's not like obviously it rhymes, but
How did he say it when he first called it? When he first said, "Oh, Sexy Rexy," how did he do it?
About like that.
I think he was talking to the media boys first time I heard it. Talking to the media boys. Sexy Rexy going to get in there a little bit, but he just called me Rexy. He didn't call me Sexy Rexy.
Yeah, see, boys, the thing with Coach is everybody's name would end up being IE. So Mikey, Chancey, Johnny, John David. I mean, that's just how he kind of it was his little deal. But I do want Rex to give you guys the story of when Coach was recruiting him in high school. And then I'm going to give Coach Spurrier's follow-up from our dinner.
Yeah.
So, Rex, you give him the background and him coming up to Bloomington to recruit you.
Yeah, well, when I was a junior in high school, I went on spring break to do some unofficial visits at Florida State and Florida I wanted to kind of get it over with. And they weren't really recruiting me that hard, so I went there and I brought him my highlight tape, and I happened to run into him in the office when he wasn't playing golf, and I'm kind of was like, all right, I'll watch it. So he watched it and was kind of like, I'll be damned. So we ended up going to lunch for 3 hours, and about a week later, I got an offer in the mail. I was like, yes, absolutely yes, because at that time it was just like Purdue and another school sending me letters, and so fast forward to late that fall, he was like, do you want me to come up for a visit? I was like, sure. I mean, my whole family would love to see you. And so he, he's going to come through the high school and do all that thing. And he gets in there on a Monday night, and we have dinner, starts, having some Coors, and we're watching Monday Night Football. And he kind of looks around. He's like, you know what? I think I'll just sleep in the guest room if that's all right. And we're like, sure. Yeah, that's fine. I was kind of laughing, but thought no big deal of it. And come downstairs the next morning, I kind of forget he's there. And he's sitting at the breakfast table eating French toast with my mom, just like, hey, Ricky, how's it going, buddy? And it was just wild to have him spend the night, and then basically took me to school. And, everybody in the whole school's, he's 2 years away from winning the national championship, two years removed. So everybody knew him, and everybody was, they were just shocked to see him. So to have him tour through the high school is kind of cool. But
So the side story to that is when so Todd Johnson, one of our Rex and I is one of our best teammates, friends. He does a kickoff banquet every year for Riverview High School down in Sarasota, where he played, he coached, still really involved. So he calls it a night of champions. Has a bunch of us, ex teammates come down, and then Coach Spurrier spoke this year. Well, Todd tells that same story, but Todd put a twist on there that Rex comes down in the morning for breakfast, and Coach Spurrier's in his mom's bathrobe eating French toast. So I'm sitting there at the table with Coach, and Rex is kind of right beside him, and he looks directly over at me and goes, "I didn't have no bathrobe on."
I wasn't going to correct him. He's still the man. But maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But I know he was definitely eating French toast at like 7 in the morning. I forgot he was there. I was like, holy shit, Spurrier's here. But
that's good stuff.
Yeah.
So as you went through college and got done, then got drafted by my Bears, tell me the difference in because I'm huge on all this kind of stuff, but give me a Spurrier play like what we know on the Blue Slatterite Steamers, whatever.
Yeah.
But give me a Chicago Bears play and then I want to follow that up with another question for you with the Bears. But give me terminology of a play that you had in Chicago as well.
It's a little more complicated. They tell kind of everybody what to do. Obviously every play call starts with the formation and then any motions or shifts. And then you get to the protection. And then you finally get to the route with, that either tells someone to do or it's a number with a tag for the running back. So, the linemen are just listening to their protection assignments, and everyone else needs to know where to line up and motions and that. But it was a little more involved for sure, and sometimes they overcomplicate things. But I think nowadays you definitely see a lot more motions and shifts than we did with Chicago. But you had bunch right, F left, 372, X stick Denver. That basically is a standard NFL play where, Florida was maybe double right blue side steamers. And some of them got pretty complicated along with Coach Spurrier. But in the NFL, you've got so much more time to study and prepare. And, you're running these plays that you were going to run in the game. And, the OTAs and mini camp and training camp. It's kind of like learning a whole new language, and everybody does fine with it. You got your outliers that don't know what the hell 1 + 1 are, but like 99%, everybody's super smart and understands exactly what's going on because you got so much time and everybody speaks that language. But it was a little more involved in the NFL, but what we did in college, he'd allowed me to, when he was confident in me, allow me to change the play at will or see a route combination beater versus certain coverage. You can get to it real quick with the hand signal, and never really got to that level in the NFL. I know a lot of the better players are allowed to do it, but I guess I never earned those stripes. Just kind of go through your progression and or they call 2 plays in the huddle and if the safety's down, you can it or kill it or whatever they do. So that was a little more involved with the biggest jump for me was protections. Like at Florida, he basically was like, well, if they're blitzing, either check to a 3-step drop or get rid of the ball, and setting protections in the NFL and understanding all the different types of protections. And that was the biggest learning curve for me because we weren't that involved as quarterbacks in protections in college, which made you play fast. And in college, you kind of thinking about things. Who's the mic? Everybody good? We need to change the protection. It can kind of slow you down a little bit, but, rather be protected than not. But there's something to be said about playing fast and just going.
Right. What were your nerves and what was it like being the starting quarterback in the Super Bowl? I've never talked to a Super Bowl quarterback before.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you think it would be, multiply it by 100. I felt like I was walking on clouds, running out on the just for warm up. I totally got where I was and what I was doing, and it just felt super cool. And just running out there before the game, and then we were going to get the ball first, so I'm all ready. I'm ready to go, and then Devin Hester runs it back for a touchdown, and then don't see the field for like 20 minutes, so it was
Yeah, I
a lot
forgot
of
about
pent
that.
up.
Yeah.
And then get the first play we ran just like a hitch route, but I felt like everything was in slow motion. I was just every part of me was heavier and just but after about a series, all that goes away and it's just a normal football game.
When did the game slow down for you at the NFL level? Because you hear about so many quarterbacks talk about that.
Yeah.
The game slowed down, and when was that for you? And not to say that it wasn't game one. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, what was it like for you? Or was it a training camp thing?
Yeah. It definitely was not preseason. Preseason felt like everyone was moving like a million miles an hour. And then I did not start right away. I started the last 3 games of the year, and we ended up being 2-1 in those 3 games, and it was a little fast. But my second year, going through all preseason again, going through training camp and OTAs and like 3 mini camps, like it was. You were pretty used to the speed of it. What you don't fully get used to is everybody's good. Everybody is not good. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody, and they're grown men that have studied you for the last 4 weeks, and they understand some of your tendencies. So, and you're playing that chess match, which and there's no one to pick on usually. So, the quality of your opponent is like playing, Georgia every week or someone like that. So that's kind of the mindset. The biggest difference. You don't get the the old Vanderbilts.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Not the new
The
Vanderbilt.
new Vanderbilts are pretty
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Who hit you the hardest in your career?
Oh man, some of the hardest hits are when you're not looking. I forget his name. He was a defensive end for San Diego, played at Purdue. We forgot to block him. It was a scat protection, or the running back thought it was a free release, and he was in charge of the 3-4 defensive end. I remember I was throwing a 15-yard out route. It was an easy completion in my mind, and then got to right here, and he stuck the top of his helmet, just running full blast right into my chest. Caused like a 3rd and 15, and I didn't breathe. I just like called a draw play to get the hell out of there, and
He made what we would call a business decision on the next play, JD. He said,
I mean,
Yeah.
there was nothing you could do at that point, but it took me a good 10 minutes to kind of shake that one off. But
at least he didn't tap out like Anthony Richardson and say,
yeah,
"Hey,
no,
what a joke, dude! What is that?"
I should have tapped out after that one, but
No, that's why we love playing with him, because he's a freaking hardcore quarterback.
I mean,
Tough as nails.
that is I think he's getting way too much heat for that.
Yeah.
Well, it's sometimes like, hey,
He's
just
like-
because you're thinking it doesn't mean you should say it. Like,
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I would have told the media,
maybe call
"Hey, man,
timeout."
my hammy tightened up. I got worried about it, and so I wanted to take myself out. I wouldn't have said, "Hey, I was a little tired. I just ran."
Yeah.
or just fake and lay down. Just
Yeah.
get you the injury time out.
It did look like he hurt his leg on that play, but I hope he gets a bunch more chances. He needs to play a lot of football, and he'll be good if he gets a lot of reps and a lot of experience. And I mean, because he's a beast.
Oh, he's a freaking freak.
I mean, he's got a cannon. He looks like a linebacker, but
I just think the football IQ is not there right now. I think it'll get there the more he plays, like you said. I mean, you have to think about the guy didn't start, but 8 or 10 games before was drafted because of injuries,
Yeah.
et cetera.
Yeah, and you got to have confidence in letting the ball go and with anticipation and seeing what they're doing, and you got to kind of be a step ahead in order to be successful. And I'm sure right now, as a young player, you want to see someone open and then fire it to them, but and it doesn't really work like that. I'm not saying he needs to be Kurt Warner, but a little more anticipation would help.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I know you played for the Bears and you played for the Redskins. What do you think about the Hail Mary?
Oh man, I had a 4-leg parlay, four money line parlay, and I had the Commanders -2. That was the last one that needed to hit, and I was like, oh shit. And then they threw that Hail Mary up. It popped up. The guy caught it. I was like, oh my god! I started stomping around the kitchen. I was out of breath, and it was a cha-ching. Yeah,
to your question, JD. That's the first time I think in a long time where I was like hooting and hollering in my house over an NFL game. My boys were like, we watched that because the entire game.
Yeah,
Washington moved the ball between the 10s like crazy. They just couldn't get in the end zone, so they're kicking field goals.
Right.
And then Caleb Williams doesn't do nothing for 3.5 quarters, and then he lights up on the last drive.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, this is, and then the freaking guy LSU just, I mean, if the guy from Baltimore wasn't having his year, that kid could have maybe win the Rookie of the Year and the MVP. Yeah. Other than Lamar Jackson. Good night, he's playing some ball.
A lot of ball.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is awesome.
Yeah.
So
I thought because he was he looks thin, I was like, man, I hope he doesn't get beat up, but he seems like he's doing fine.
Oh man, he's more than fine, man. That guy is, he's making that city his. He's a franchise quarterback. I was a little skeptical myself. I knew he was talented. I knew he was accurate and could throw the deep ball and run a little bit, but they can't catch him. And he's throwing beautiful touch passes, firing it in there. He's going to be a problem for people in the playoffs.
Yeah. They said it was the first time that the Redskins or that Washington's been 7-2 since '96.
Is that right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We weren't 9-6.
Well, let's get old Rexy to give us his breakdown of the Georgia-Florida game. We're going to let him go first.
I thought our defense played great. We had every opportunity to win that game, and DJ Lagway goes down, and it was kind of tough to get back in any momentum. We did all right. We held our own from that point on, but man, what could have been if he would have just, kept healthy and kept making plays, and the confidence grows and the crowd starts to get excited. They start to get a little tight, but Georgia's loaded, and eventually they were going to, make some noise, but to get 3 picks, you got to win that game.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
I do wish we could have had DJ, and I thought the youngster who came in the first couple of series, he had that.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
I didn't think I was even gonna sniff the field, let alone.
Yeah.
And then I think he kind of settled down and did okay, but it was.
Yeah, he's got some talent. He throws the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
He went to Yale, so he must be a smart kid.
That's what I was telling my brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least we know he's smart. We know that.
Yeah.
We'll just have to kind of get some reps, but we'll see what happens here as we go.
That's a tough spot to be thrown in the game too.
And to come in and throw a deep ball in the first play.
First play.
Whoa. I loved it.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I was not either.
I listened to Billy Ray's presser today, and Edgar or somebody asked him. They go, well, "What about? Do you think maybe do you think the balls may have been not tuned to him and all that?" And Billy said, "Listen, I can guarantee you, I know the kid, and I know he was not thinking about anything about a ball out there. He said he had no idea what the ball. That was the last thing on his mind."
Yeah. No, he heard his own voice in his head. Okay, get the snap. Okay, he was all. Because I've been there, and then he did settle down, and he did a good job. But that was a bummer. I'm glad it doesn't seem like it's the hamstrings as bad as getting carted off the field, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it probably scared him a lot. But when
Yeah.
I saw the kid come in, I immediately went to the necessary roughness. We were sitting here in the suite watching the game. I went to the necessary roughness. Popkey, send it in. That's what I thought about. Like that kid, we should have had Popkey out there with a T-bone face mask out there.
Yeah. Yeah, and Carson Beck played like shit. We should have won that game. You know, I mean, our defense played well.
Yep.
We were running the ball, and kind of got away from us.
Speaking of Carson Beck, 9 interceptions in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Is it 10 now?
10 now.
Okay, that's it. I saw 9 online, but that's terrible. I mean, I know that shit happens, but how do you as a QB, how do you shake back from that?
Well, not every interception's created equal. Like, there's some bad interceptions, and then there's some bad luck, and a lot of his were bad decisions.
Yeah.
So when you're making bad decisions, then your confidence is you're not seeing it right. You're thinking about something else, or you're just not in the right frame of mind where you play your best when you just go blank and you just playing, and he must be thinking too much or thinking about the wrong things or not seeing the field right. But I know when I was not playing well, I was definitely, thinking too much or analyzing or predetermining, that I was going to get this coverage and the defenders were going to do what I thought they were going to do and just slinging it. And that's not the right mindset, but you got to kind of feel it and understand where you're vulnerable. And it's weird that if you actually back there, have that thought process, you're not going to play well. You have to have that ingrained into your head during the week and understand your keys. But, that's at least how I analyzed when I played well or bad, that I was in my own head.
Yeah, he definitely seems like it's almost that old adage, like he's pressing for whatever reason. And I think anybody, even probably Kirby's telling them the same thing we're thinking of is, hey, you got a defense that if you can just get us 17, we're probably going to win. And it seems like he's just – because in the first half, I mean, Alabama, the same thing. It's like you can't win the game in the first half, but like they always say, you can lose it in the first half too, though.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's just pressing.
Yeah, and let's not let the coordinator off the hook too. I mean, he's not giving him easy reads and easy plays.
That's true.
Get him out of that. But
Bobo was at Georgia for a long time, wasn't he, with Mark Richt?
Yeah.
He played there too, and number 10, wasn't he? Quarterback.
I can't remember.
And then what about ETN and his mama telling the boys y'all are hitting my son too hard? And,
all they did was take his mouthpiece out for him. I mean, that's all.
Yeah, one of our local kids here, Cam Jackson, is from up here in North Louisiana. She's texting him talking shit, and he's like, "Look," he posted on Twitter, "This lady's crazy. What's she doing texting me?"
Yeah,
that's
what'd you expect? It's probably we weren't there, but I mean, when Brock went to Miami, they were trying to kill him that night. It was not like I mean, you were on the opposite side of the field now, Hoss, and you're going to get some. It's like, what do you expect?
You saw Brock's emotion after he beat the Gators. I mean, he was trying to giving it to them too. I mean,
sure,
football is the greatest sport. You can kind of let people have it, and that's just the name of the game.
That's another funny story with
Kingsville, and to hang out with all of us, and he's like, "Nope, can't do that." He said, "Out of every coffee shop there."
He's not very welcome back in Gainesville. It's funny because when Brock did the whole throat slash, Brock, why'd you have to throat slash? You didn't have to throat slash us. You didn't have to do all that.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's all right. To back up to the Carson Beck thing, JD and I were watching that game, and JD said, what'd you say if he had a band, what it would be? We were talking about his bad decisions. He said if he had a band, it'd be Carson Beck and the bad decisions.
Bad decisions,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, especially at halftime.
Yeah.
We're obviously giving him a hard time because he's supposed to be the first pick in the draft.
Sure.
And he's a really talented player that you know, he's got everything out there for him because they've only lost once. But, you know, I'm glad we saw him when he was struggling.
Amen. Yeah.
I mean,
agree.
I told Chance this, earlier too, and and I told Tyler, and a few of my friends too that I talked to. Like as an LSU fan, I wasn't so much worried about the game with Bama this week as I was going to the Swamp,
Yeah.
because it was like they were starting to figure it out.
Mhm.
And Lagway started playing, and then it's like everything opened up. It's like a light came on, and then
Yeah.
he goes down. And Chance told me today he feels like if it's not as bad as they said it is, then they're going to sit him out this week potentially.
Okay.
Go to Texas, and then he'll be at home next week ready to go. Now, I mean, have you ever had a hamstring injury? That really.
Yeah.
I mean, what's it like? I've never injured a hamstring myself. Now I've had them tied. I've had this, but
Yeah.
I've never had one where you just like literally can't move around.
Oh, you know immediately. I was it was a preseason game. I was with the Redskins, and it was raining and kind of cold for an August, and I hadn't played till like the third quarter, and it was pouring down rain, and I dropped the snap, and I bent over real quick to get it, and then I pushed off to like it was a run play to the right, and I just replaced the running back because I was trying to pick up the ball. So I tried to sprint in there and just, I mean, I'd never had a hamstring either, but it's not like, oh, maybe I hit my hamstring. No, and it pops, and you're like, holy shit. And it was a pretty bad one, and it took me about 3 weeks. I ended up playing in the fourth preseason game, pretty much the whole game wrapped up. And I mean, you can still do everything. I was just kind of cautious and didn't really run around at all. But yeah, you know right away, and that definitely probably scared him a little bit because you can almost hear the pop.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, just to let you know, I've never had a hamstring injury, so I mean, if you can't, I can't tell you.
Yeah,
You're all upper body, and then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I wasn't running hard enough to get a
Too
hammer.
many braces and arm pads and all suited up. You look like Forrest
Fuck
Gump.
that
You
guy.
know?
Fuck
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
Well, because we've kind of been through our roller coaster of the Napier Express. Tell me what your emotional state of mind has been from the Miami game to now, in regards to Napier.
I feel a lot better than I did. I mean, that's basically the bottom line. I feel like we kind of we were a team that needed those kind of warm up games like we used to have to kind of get into a rhythm and feel what we're about. And we weren't ready for Miami. You know, they got on us pretty quick. And I think from that point to now, we've definitely improved. And, you know, it's ultimately football is about offense and defensive line. You know, if you've got a great offense and defensive line, it's going to give you a chance to be in every game because there's a lot of talented skill players around, and I think we've got them. And you know, we're feel like we're maybe a little outmanned sometimes, but for the most part, I think we're a lot better than we were, and it'll be fun. We're in this stretch of all these tough games. We got Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and it's going to be tough. So how we perform in those tough games, we got to get one of them, but we got to at least be extremely competitive in all of them.
So I said last week before this game, I said he had to win 2 to keep his job. I feel like now maybe potentially, if depending on where Lagway does or doesn't, say he doesn't play much in these last, really 3 games. Are you saying you want to keep him?
Yeah, I mean,
Regardless of the rest, it's not regardless, but as long as we're staying competitive, you're good with it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to make the playoff this year, so we've got to turn the rest of the season into, where everyone can be excited about 2025, and that's his job, that's his goal, and we got to keep DJ Lagway. I mean, with the transfer portal and all the NIL money, we got to be optimistic going into next season. We can't be like Florida State. where they're just getting pounded by everybody. So I think it's more than wins and losses for the rest of the year. I think we did great against Georgia. Didn't get out the victory, but it was close, and we made it a game, and they've. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. Right now, I feel like it's better than it was when it started. So
yeah, I'm coming around to it. He seems like he's got them, fired up to play. We talked about that a lot in the first couple of weeks of the season. It was painful to watch kind of just the lack of effort and guys that didn't give a rip. But now, and that's to his credit. I think he is the head coach and the guy who has to keep these guys motivated. He's done a good job of that. I definitely hate saying I just want to compete, but I realize too he's got a few holes still he's got to fill. But
we got to be excited about 2025, and I think he's got a chance to do that. He's obviously got an extremely good quarterback who's young and will be the future. So I think a lot of it depends on that.
Jumping off sides, I'd like to thank one of our corporate sponsors, Louisiana Downs Casino and Racetrack, where excitement is always at the finish line.
Oh.
Well, we've broken that game down for sure and everything, and now the coach, and that's going to take us to the Bass Energy Services Under the Hood instant replay from a few games from last week, JD, that we had that we can talk about, and then we'll go into our parlay for perfection.
So let's talk about let's go to the Big Ten. Rex, I know you live in Big Ten country. Ohio State and Penn State. I know whenever we were looking at this game, it was kind of our marquee game for the week. We were kind of mixed in who we picked. I picked Penn State. Mike changed his mind, when he found out it was a noon kickoff and not a whiteout in Happy Valley at night. So he got that one right. But Ohio State 20-13. Penn State looked good early. Pick six, up 10-0. I think was it 10-0 or 7-0. I think it was 10-0. I think they were up 10-0.
Yeah.
And then they scored 3 points the rest of the game. So I'm not sure. What do you think about that one?
Well, I picked Ohio State with my money, and I was happy to see it. Penn State's one of those programs that they're always good and they've got a great program, but you got to prove it against the team that beats you every year. So until they do, I wasn't expecting them to win, and one of those Big Ten boring kind of games as far as I was concerned watching it. A lot of crazy fumble out of the end zone, random picks in the end zone. Ohio State can play with the best of them. So, Penn State kind of needs to prove that they can consistently beat teams like that in order for me to pick them. So that's what I was thinking. I hope they don't just cruise on into the playoff because I don't think they're, that good.
So the Hurricanes keep rolling. 53-31 win over Duke. It looked good for a while, and then it just kind of got away from them there late.
Cam Ward is a beast. He's got. If I had a Heisman vote, I'd pick him. He's just making it look so easy. He just kind of relaxes out there, and people come at him to sack him. He just kind of runs around a little bit, and that receiver that the Hurricanes have, number 7. He's good. He's good. So and that I think Miami's really good, and they're going to go ahead and finish out the ACC undefeated. But Duke, gave up nice effort, but the loaded team ended up winning.
I think the biggest Achilles heel for Miami is going to be that defense, though.
Yeah.
I just think when they get in the playoffs and they're playing some, teams that can play with them offensively, I think they're going to be in trouble. I think they're going to win out. I think they're going to get there. They'll be a top 4 seed, but I just worry for their defense.
When I watched the Canes beat Florida down in the swamp, I said that's a 3-loss team. We just lost to a 3-loss team. And I still stand by that. They should have already lost 3 games. I mean, obviously
Cal
they
had
found
them
a way.
beat.
They
Yeah,
found
Cal
a way.
should be.
There's something to
Cal
say.
pissed that game away. That was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Let's go to Fayetteville, Arkansas. Ole Miss absolutely boat raced Arkansas 63-31.
Love to see
And it looked like finally for this year, Kiffin's starting to figure it out. It took a while. The defense is still not a lot of transfers, but it looked like finally in this game, Ole Miss.
Arkansas is not that good.
And it's the right time of year for them to figure it out. And you think about it, coming up, their game this week, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I think Arkansas is better than what everybody thinks. I mean, A&M beat them by 3 points? It was a close game in Arlington.
Arkansas beat Tennessee too. So I picked Ole Miss because I felt like they needed it. They had a breakout game coming where they were just going to start slinging it on offense, and it turned out to be right.
Yep.
Ole Miss can put up some points.
Yeah, I love it
in a hurry.
One of the things I like about him, other than Kiffin, being that guy that we like down there in Florida, the teams he's supposed to beat, he's going to put up 70 against them. And then just like having a chance against Arkansas, puts up 63. Let's roll. I love that.
Yeah,
and that's what we need, or that's what I like to see. I'm not saying we need that at Florida. I'm a Billy guy, but
I mean, that team can lay an egg though every once in a while too, which makes you scratch your head. But then they'll, you're not surprised that they put up 70.
Do they still have a path to the playoffs?
Ole Miss has lost. I mean, it's possible. I mean, there's going to have to be a couple of people ahead of them to lose. Okay. I mean, I think, Alabama's got to lose again. LSU will probably have to lose again. Georgia's, if they beat Georgia this week, I mean, that gives them both 2 conference losses. There's a path. I mean, I don't think they're completely out of the equation. Yeah. The best case scenario for Ole Miss, though, is for somebody like LSU with 2 losses to win out and then play in the conference championship game and lose and then have 3 losses, and then Ole Miss is sitting there with 2.
Right.
The biggest factor to me was A&M getting beat at South Carolina this week. That changed everything.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, you go from as good as they looked last week to go into now, and you're just like, man, the QB looked like a freshman in an away game. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Another one of those that when they beat Florida, I said that's a 3 to 4 loss team.
Our buddy,
I didn't think A&M was special at all.
Our buddy Michael Mahan, he's probably not too happy right now with his career. But man, I was not. Did any of us pick South Carolina for that game?
Chance picked him. Yeah, he did. He picked him across. Yeah. So I for sure didn't.
I've been in the end zone before though, Rex. I don't have to spike it.
These other guys.
Yeah, I picked Texas A&M in that one too. I kind of lost some money on that. Yeah.
I'll guide you. Just listen to our picks this week.
Let's hear it.
Those parlays will ring true for you.
So, number 1, Oregon handled business in the Big House, 38-17.
Garbage.
Texas Tech 23, undefeated Iowa State 22. That was
all of us lost that, didn't we?
Yes, we all did.
Joey McGuire, head coach, Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big game. And so I'm going to bring this up. Rex, what's life like in Bloomington, Indiana right now?
Well, I'm in Delray Beach, but Bloomington, Indiana. Bloomington, Indiana is beautiful in the fall. This is time of year to be up there. You got the leaves changing, and it's real football weather. And it reminds me of going back. I love going back to my nephew's high school games or youth football games and just reminiscing a little bit. But Bloomington, Indiana is really cool. Delray Beach is awesome.
I hear you.
I mean, you got
that's
Indiana
undefeated Hoosiers right now. I mean,
the Hoosiers. I mean, they look. For a while, I was like, wow, they're 6-0. Oh, wow, they're 7-0.
Yeah,
they're actually good.
Yeah,
they are. This is not a fluke.
No. I actually put money on them about 4 weeks ago to win the Big Ten. Not much, but I mean, it was like 1,600 to win or 1,600 to 1 or something like that.
They got a real shot. They got a real
They have a
shot.
shot. I mean, they've got one game. They've got Ohio State in the conference championship game, which would be more than likely against Oregon. But an undefeated Indiana against Oregon in the Big Ten championship game would be an awesome thing.
Yeah.
Indiana's scoring like 40-something points a game.
And their defense is legit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I picked against them every week because I think, well, here it comes.
Yeah.
They're going to lay an egg, and they don't. So that's cool. I like it.
I mean, they are going to – I think they're going to go into Ohio State and beat them. I mean, I think they're legit. And then I don't know if they could beat Oregon, but, you know, they're
They can do it. Gabriel's trash.
Okay. Well, then, all right. You're going to – let's
Hey,
go.
just Rex, just be forewarned that 2 weeks ago, Chance said that the Gators are going to finish 9-3. So,
yeah, well,
I like
we
it.
had a shot.
I'm just glad I don't have to eat the dog shit out of the solo cup.
Yeah. We're just going to be 8-4. That's
8-4 now. Yeah.
Thank you. I said 9-3, 8-4. So I'll tell you, before I went down in February and met with Coach Napier and the gang, and before I went, I told my banker, I said 4-8. Well, we're going to be 4-8. I go down there and meet with him. I come back. I said 9-3.
9-3. 9-3.
Taking state 9-3 all the way. So now we're 8-4. We got a shot. So.
We got a shot for sure.
Yep.
So, did you see the Clemson fans, how mad they were when Louisville beat them? Oh,
yeah,
I don't know if you've seen any of that online. They were pissed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Firedabo.com.
Clemson hasn't played. You know, I know they were blowing people out, and I kind of saw it, and I was like, oh, yeah, man, they're looking good. And then and I look back, I'm like, man, they didn't play anybody. Louisville's kind of been tested. They played some good teams, and so Louisville went up there and handled business 33-21. Clemson fell from like 11 to 20.
As you boys know, I'm a Jeff Brom guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last week I went against him, I think.
Yeah.
I drank the Kool-Aid, but I love
Right.
Jeff Brom.
You always don't think Louisville's going to be good, but then all of a sudden they have a pretty damn good season. You know,
Yeah,
you underestimate them every year, but every year they're right there.
Yep.
So,
last game from them last week we'll talk about is Pitt going to Dallas and playing SMU, and SMU 48-25. Guys, I think SMU's for real.
Holstein was injured, I believe, and that was my whole reason for putting it all on Pitt. But SMU, I like watching them. I like the way they play. I like Rhett Lashley.
Yeah.
Really good coach. I like the way he's not afraid to go at it.
I didn't get that far on my sports book to really worry about Pitt and SMU.
Because they're just a one-loss team, correct?
Yes.
SMU?
Yeah. Yep.
And it was a game they should not have lost, and I had picked them to win that game. They got beaten, so I got off of them. I said, well, shit, they don't know shit from a jar of Vicks. I'm out on this.
Yeah. They're pretty explosive, right? At least they were last year on offense.
Yeah. They can score points for sure.
Right.
They got a cool stadium. I like it over there in Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, this takes us to a next section of our show, brought to you by Rotag PT Services and Louisiana Downs Casino and Racetrack. This is our Parlay for Perfection, part of the show where we go over the games coming up this week and who to put it all on. I say put your points on it. I don't say put your money on it, but Caesar Sportsbook's our official partner here that we make our bets on. Caesar Sportsbook, part of the Louisiana Downs, a racetrack and casino. And also, if you gamble, gamble responsibly. Please hit that hotline if you have a problem. But that's our disclaimer. But until that, just follow the four of us tonight. Follow our picks. We'll tell you where to go.
Yeah.
Trust me, if anybody followed us last weekend, they went straight to the shitter. So
That's for real. They went straight in the portable
Your
toilet.
shit's our bread and butter.
So, game one on the slate this week, number 21, Colorado, 6-2, is a 3-point favorite at Texas Tech. Texas Tech is 6-3, over and under 62.5. Who you got, Rex?
I got Colorado. I think anytime you have a big upset victory, or you're just too excited and you don't think about the right things, and Colorado's pretty explosive too. So, yeah, I'm going to say Colorado.
Would you take Buffs in the over?
What's the over under?
62.5.
Yeah, I like the over. I mean,
I like it.
yeah, college football, you don't want to bet the under. It's just too stressful. But I'd stay away from the total points. I'd just take Colorado and to win by a touchdown or 10.
Yeah, they're favored by 3, so I think
Yeah.
they cover that. I got Buffs in the over myself.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
right.
yeah. Oh, you all the way?
Back up. Wreck 'em Tech.
Wreck 'em.
Okay.
Let's
I
go.
went Colorado, Texas Tech to cover, and took the over.
I think it's at Texas Tech. They're going to be hyped for this game.
Mm.
You know how that stadium is. They have upsets. They used to upset OU every year, it seemed like. Never Texas.
Yeah.
So, big game in the land of Mormons. Number 9 BYU, 8-0, 5-point favorite at Utah. Utah's 4-4. Over and under's 41.5.
Utah's garbage. I've lost money on them like 3 times this year.
Me too.
Excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead and cough. You guys finish.
I'm gonna take BYU, and the over. I'm gonna stay with the Cougs.
I took BYU, but I took the Utes to cover, and I took the over. I think it's at Utah. That's always a close game, like a field goal game, somewhere in there, 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, something like that.
Who's Utah's quarterback?
Is it still Cam Rising?
No,
He's been there like 25
He's
years.
done. I think he's applying for his 15th year.
Yeah.
Utah times 2 in the over for me. Took them all the way across the board. Heavy on the
Upset. You taking the upset.
Heavy on the gas.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. We're going to move along here. Let's go to number 4 Miami, 9-0. They are an 11-point favorite at Georgia Tech, playing in Atlanta. Georgia Tech's 5-4, over and under 63.5.
Giving up 11, Rex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll get there. Even if it's the fourth quarter and they're down, they're going to somehow end up winning by 30. You do not bet against Miami right now.
Mike?
Listen, boys, this is my Rotag upset diarrhea shitty pick of the week. I'm going G-Tech in the under on this one, boys. The Ramblin' Wreck, I've liked them the whole year. I know they're a roller coaster, but I'm saying this is your upset special of the week. Ride it on a rock, Chance.
Portable toilets, no shit pick of the week.
It is time for Miami to lose one.
Ride it on a rock, Chance, and do what with it?
Throw it through the pay window.
Throw it through the pay window, son. Here we come.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's got some pretty fast little running backs and some good players, but Hurricanes are for real.
I took Miami. I took Georgia Tech to cover.
Me too.
I think 11's a lot. Who knows? I mean, it's either going to be way more than 11 or,
Canes
4 to
Tech
7.
in the
I
under
think.
is what I
Yeah.
think. So.
Yeah.
Personally. Okay, so we're going to ask this question. Before I say anything about the game, will Florida State score 21 in a game this year?
No.
Well, I mean, do they play like FAMU or something at the end?
No, not this week, but
Okay.
did they play FAMU the last game of the season?
They usually play somebody like that, but
No, it's usually Florida.
they won't score 21 against the Florida Gators. You know that.
No.
No, I
Went
got it.
right over your head.
I got it. It's just funny.
All right, so Florida State's going to South Bend, Indiana. Notre Dame is a 25-point favorite, over and under 42.5. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like either of those teams, but I will say I'm 25 is the spread.
Yes, 25.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I'm going to go Florida State just because. Why not? I'm not going to bet it. 1, 2.
No, yeah, I'm with you.
If I had to,
yeah.
Give me Florida State because that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Just from a betting angle, that's what you take on for them to beat the spreads. What you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bet it, and I'm not going to watch it. but I'd take Florida State.
I have no trust in Notre Dame or Tallahassee Junior College, but
Yeah.
I went ND across the board in the under because hell, even if they beat them by 25, there won't be enough points scored. So
Yeah.
You took Indy to cover?
yes, I did.
Yeah, I did
yes,
too. I
hell
think like a
yes.
48-7 game. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Could be.
Listen,
even if Florida
the
State
Florida
covers
State's
40,
defense ain't that bad. They
they're
ain't giving
terrible.
up. They ain't giving up 3.5 touchdowns. I
They-
picked Notre
they
Dame to
are.
win.
They
Florida State will cover, and it'll be 20-32. That'll
Yeah.
be the score.
Oh, so you think they're going to score 20 for the second time this year?
Yes. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
don't know. Not in
offensive.
South Bend.
They're hitting their stride.
Come on, left tackle.
The only good thing is it's at Notre Dame, so there'll
Yeah.
actually be fans in the stands. So
Yeah,
that's
and
what
the
that'll be.
grass will be about
Yeah.
6.5 inches tall and
Right.
going down.
Speaking of that, though, Florida State, like they are on Norvell's ass right now. And they, I don't know if you saw the press conference, and they're asking him questions like, "Do you still think that you're the right person to lead this program?" and all these questions.
Well, he had it. He was terrible his first 3 years there. In all honesty, goes into last year and he
Yeah.
picked the portal off and had success. And that's why you cannot live in the transfer portal.
I
And
agree.
he did it, and then he thought he could go get him I didn't think the guy was a superstar quarterback anyway.
No.
But he goes and plucks somebody he thinks is a big name out of the portal, and you see what happened.
Yeah.
They're getting
Yeah.
dirt rolled.
Yeah. Deion Sanders, the next head coach, Florida State.
No, sir. Not gonna. He will not go back there. That's my prediction.
No.
We'll see
Okay.
him in Florida before he goes to Florida State. Believe it. or
All
not.
right.
No, he'll never go to Florida.
He ain't going to
That's
Florida.
what I'm saying. That's
That'll
that's
never
the chance you have because he will not be in Tallatrashy.
Yeah.
Not happening.
All right, so Big Ten football Michigan, unranked Michigan, 5-4 at number 8 Indiana, 9-0. Indiana's a 14-point favorite, over and under 48.5.
That's a good line.
Yeah, agreed.
I used 9-0, but they're 9-0 against the spread too. So I don't think they're
I'm
going
with you. That's my thought.
I mean, might as well make it 10-0.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Damn.
Mike, who'd you like in that one?
I picked Indy to win. I think Michigan will cover, and then I took the under on this one actually.
I took the over, but I thought just like you did,
Well, why'd you pick different if you thought like he did?
just on the over under.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who scored, but no, I'm just like he is.
I picked Indiana in the over. 40-something points a game. They whipped Michigan State last week.
Yeah.
I feel like Michigan's in a downward spiral. And
Milk it, Jimmy.
let's
Milk the clock.
let's go.
Michigan's going to keep the clock rolling, and I don't think that's why I think the under. I think India will still house them, but I think Michigan covers.
Here's another good one.
Mhm.
Washington 5-4 travels to Penn State. Penn State 7-1 now. They're a 13.5-point favorite. 45.5 over under.
At the local colleges around here, there's the Baptist Student Union, the BSU, and one of the sayings I used to have was, "Don't let the BSU BSU." I feel that way about Penn State. Don't let the PSU PSU.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. But in saying that, I went Penn State, the gas, and the under. So PSU times 2. I'm wanting to PS me right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Penn State beats people that they're supposed to beat, and they'll probably roll them.
Yeah.
I picked Penn State, but I think Washington covers, and I took the over.
I'm with you, Mike. We picked the same on that one.
We got to help. We got to help our boy Jed out at Washington, Rexy.
That's right. Yeah.
Old Jed Fish.
Yeah, he had a great year last year at Arizona. That was extremely impressive, and they've been, up and down at Washington.
Yeah, Jed was he was kind of the. I don't think they had it back when we played when Rex and I were there, but he was kind of like our quality control guy at Florida when we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great dude, great guy.
Yeah. I don't think he's the guy, though, for us.
Yeah.
No,
All right.
no.
We're going to the saddest place on earth, Columbia, Missouri.
Shit.
Oklahoma's 5-4 and they're traveling to Missouri. Missouri's 6-2, and Missouri opens as a 2.5-point favorite, 42.5 on the over and under. What do you think? Mike hates Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Missouri there. Oklahoma stinks. At least they've let me down, So
Yeah.
not that Missouri's been great, but they've, it's at home basically is the difference there. I'll take them to win by a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I actually,
on this one.
for some reason I picked Oklahoma on this one.
Yeah.
Across the board, and then I took Oklahoma
Mike,
and Oklahoma over. I picked the
picked
over.
exactly alike.
Well,
Great minds, JD.
Yes, sir. This is an old rivalry, I think.
It is,
That's being
yeah.
renewed.
Yeah.
And I feel like, Oklahoma played really well last week or 2 weeks ago. I just think they're going to travel over there and they're going to be like, hey, y'all remember who Daddy was for all those years? We're back.
It's a 1 game. Missouri,
I don't know.
Oklahoma covers, but
I'm going with OU.
give me the over too.
All right. Austin, Texas. The 4-4 Florida Gators with their third string QB goes to number 5, Texas. Texas opens as a 21.5-point favorite, and the over and under is 47.5.
47.5. I'll take the over on the 47.5. And we're gonna somehow, some way, we're gonna
Don't do it.
pull it off.
Well, ring that championship bell because this is my Road Tag Portable Toilet Services no shit pick of the week because it is a no shitter. Texas, and the over for me. I hate to do that, but gosh damn, I'm a betting guy here, so here we go.
Yeah, well, we're not going to get to 8-4 with that kind of attitude.
I agree. I kind of gave up on it after last week. We're too snake bit to get to 8-4 at this point.
Hey, we've proved that we can play with the top 2 or 3 team, and if we come out with the same energy, ball bounces our way a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although, all those Cowboys get all nervous, and somehow we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I like the way you think, and I hope I'm wrong. That's why I'm doing this because I'm, sometimes I'm just wrong. It doesn't happen very often, but
Tell them who you picked, Mike.
Can we just say what I picked on the over and the point?
Yeah,
come on, bro.
Well, only because my record was struggling after last week. I hate to admit it, but I picked Texas.
Yeah.
It broke
21.5?
No, but I picked Florida to cover. So
okay.
I feel like I'm doing the right thing by our boys is what I'm trying to get at.
Absolutely.
I think we cover, and to Rex's point, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Last week I went with my heart, and this week I'm going a little more like a calculated effort.
Yeah.
I agree. JD, what'd you do?
I picked Texas to win. I picked Florida to cover, and I picked the over.
And let's just hope that in that cover means that they end up winning. I mean,
Correct.
It could happen. Hey, it could happen.
That's
right.
Absolutely. That's right.
As Berman would say, that's why they play the game.
That's right.
Yeah. No doubt.
Nashville, Tennessee. Here we go. South Carolina, 5-3 at number 24 Vanderbilt.
Gosh, dog.
This is a great game.
Mike, I think you're echoing. I don't know if you're echoing, Mike. I don't know.
I may have because I didn't charge my phone like I should have, so I'll try to talk a little softly.
I got South Carolina winning the game. South Carolina covering. What's the over under?
46.5.
Yeah, I got the over too. I mean, they were so impressive I know it was a night game in Columbia, but that quarterback and running back, who couldn't stop them. And Vanderbilt has a similar style offense. I think the defense is going to be ready to get after him, and at some point they got to turn back into Vanderbilt. So I'm going South Carolina.
Even Cinderella got to go to the ball, and I actually messed up. This was my no shit pick of the week. and write it on a rock and throw this one through the pay window. There's no way in hell that at Vandy, South Carolina is going to do what they did last week with A&M. So I'm taking Vandy in the under. So I'm going to sweat this one out, Rex, with the under.
right.
I'm going Vandy across.
Yeah.
JD, check
Sounds
that
good.
cup again. Check it.
It's
Check that cup.
Yeah.
Bailey's and coffee.
It's Pete's Coffee from down here, down to the bottom level.
I know, but how much
Louisiana
Bailey's
now.
in it? That's what I need to know.
Zero. I can't handle any of that. It's coffee. Burning my lip.
I went South Carolina, and took the under.
Yep, same here. I picked exactly the same, Mike. South Carolina, and the under. I mean, I think our records speak for themselves. I mean, me and you have been picking winners all year.
Oh, yeah.
Kids, but dumb.
You know, I mean, I'm like Rex. Vandy's got to be Vandy at some point. Now, I hope it's 2 weeks from now. But anyway,
Well, here's one comment though. How sad is it that Vandy's already bowl eligible and we're just sitting here going, man, I hope we can have somebody trip and fall off the bus so we can get to a bowl.
Right.
Agreed.
That sucks.
yeah, that does suck for y'all.
Yeah.
I really
gonna-
don't feel
That third
bad.
loss
I
is
don't
gonna
feel
this
too
week.
bad for you.
Yeah.
I'd take Billy Napier 7 times over than I would that little guy you got in back. Promise you that.
Red-faced bastard.
I don't know about that.
Your guy couldn't win a big game if you gave him $20 million a year and a $40 million NIL budget.
And Billy has?
We
I
beat
didn't
Utah
say Billy
there.
has, but I damn sure know Brian
Well, you
Kelly
said you would
won't
take him
and
over
had
the
never
little
has.
leprechaun.
I know one guy who
taking
never
him.
has.
I'm not a big Brian Kelly fan. I've said that, since he got hired. But for program stability, the recruiting, I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, Florida's ranked 51st in recruiting right now. Where's LSU?
Hey, we're like that crew that if we don't win a championship, then we're just going to burn it the whole way down.
Just burn it down. Let's go.
Just burn it.
Burn it down. All right, moving on. Number 2, Georgia, 7-1, traveling to Oxford in the Grove. Number 16, Ole Miss, 7-2. Georgia opens up as a 2.5-point favorite, over and under 54.5.
Man, what a game.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Based on what I saw last week, I'm going to go Ole Miss winning and covering and the over.
Yes.
It's going to be feel like it's going to be one of those wild overtime games in SEC West. It's going to be those like crazy games they play over there.
Yep.
Georgia's going to be right in the middle of it, and it's definitely a game I'm going to be betting and watching.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rex hit the NyQuil or something because he's got too much syrup on the throat. Because I went Georgia in the under.
All right.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
That's Ole.
Gator
and the
fan
over.
loving Georgia over here.
Yeah.
Is that the
Loving Georgia. I'm just seeing what we watched last week, and I mean,
Yeah.
I threw 3 picks and they still won.
Yeah, but I like.
Yeah, but your QB went down. Your QB don't go down, you win that game. I'm telling you. I told Chant.
I agree.
I think that happens.
Yeah.
All right, so last game, we got number 11 Alabama 6-2, opened up as a 2.5-point favorite at number 14 LSU, 58.5 over and under. Who you
Chance,
got,
can I get a second rock to write it down on and throw it to the pay window, please?
Hey, you can do anything you want, Mike P.
Bama.
Rubber Boot Crawfish Company is going to give you another rock to throw through the window on the big game right here. So,
Yeah.
Rubber Boot Crawfish Company is you're riding on a rock segment right here.
Yeah.
Bama, and the under. And Brian Kelly is going to be about 4'8".
Whoa! Got him.
Not happening.
Yeah, this is not Alabama's year. LSU's going to get them at home. I think it's going to be over because Alabama's going to score points, but LSU's pretty explosive, and I don't know. I don't like either team, but
Yeah.
give me LSU because they're at home.
That's a wonderful pick, as Corso would say. Wonderful pick, sweetheart. I'm LSU in the overall, so I'm a Nussmeier guy, my little stepson.
Yeah.
I'm all about Nussmeier all the way.
My stepson.
Yeah.
What time is the game, JD?
It's a night game. Are you sure you want to change your pick? Night game.
No, I'm good.
No, he's confident. He wrote it on a rock.
LSU.
Your
LSU
guy
in
can't
over
win the
what I
big
pick.
ones. I ain't worried about it at all.
I mean, he beat Bama in overtime, beat Ole Miss in overtime. Like, I just don't think this is Bama's year. I mean, they've slipped by. They slipped by. South Carolina should have beat them, which, granted, they should have probably beat LSU too, which that was at home versus Bama being at Bama. I don't know. I think LSU controls their own destiny. If they can somehow figure out how to man block up front and get any kind of semblance of a running game to help the QB out, the defense is starting to play better. And I think that if we can just complement the pass a little bit, I think, like Mike used to say, can we run the ball some more? We just got to know how to run it in the zone. The zone read is not working because Nussmeier never runs it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Jalen Milroe gets going, then that's a different story. But
That's
he
a
hasn't.
completely different
Yeah,
story.
he hasn't been kind of himself lately. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Nussmeier. He looks like an NFL quarterback, and it's basically the home field advantage for me.
Yeah.
It's the Rudy Rudiger deal. Before he got it, he said, "I've been waiting on this my whole life." That's what he's an NFL guy. They've groomed him for this his whole life.
Yeah.
Even though Rudy was offsides, but damn it, he's ready anyway.
Before we go, Rex, you got to give us one good Spurrier story.
Well, my favorite thing to say to people, is like, what was it like, when you were, had such a fiery coach who'd bench you or this or that, and I'd come off the field after not doing what I was supposed to, and he'd kind of throw his visor and look at you, and then he'd pause and be like, you know what? Not your fault. My fault for playing. You go sit on the bench, and it was just like such a gut punch. Where it's like, it's not your fault, and kind of tap you on the back, like, very condescending, and just like, go sit on the bench. It's all good. Not your fault. My fault for playing you. All right, Jesse. Here's what we're gonna do next, and you felt like that's big,
Yeah.
So, but that being said, guy was a legend. I loved every minute of the meetings, being able to play in an offense that gave me so much opportunity. He's the best. But when he got benched, there was no one worse to hear it from.
Yeah.
Right. So to let everyone know, we're going to be probably live next week from Florida. So JD and I are taking the show on the work road to meet Mike down there. And Rex, I hope that you're able to join us because next week's a really special treat for all the Florida Gator fans as Rex will be Mr. Two Bits next week. So for the LSU game. So hopefully we put up a pile of points and would love for you to join us on the show next week while we're down there.
Sure.
We are going to take the show on the road and do a little deal down there.
It's going to be fun.
And be in Mike's part of the world where he can be live with us and on set on the road. So,
Rexy, did you take the advice and did you get the actual outfit, or are you just going to put the T-shirt on?
For what? Oh, no, I'm doing the whole thing.
All right.
I bought some like black and white golf shoes, pinstripe pants.
Oh, hell yes.
yellow button down with, for some reason, like an Auburn blue and orange tie.
Yep.
The whole deal. But yeah, I'm not gonna put the T-shirt on. I'm gonna do it for real. Yeah, I'm gonna start looking at YouTube, seeing what some of these other people have done, and just try to do it just like him.
Because
and point to the south end zone because that's where we're going to be sitting. Or north end zone. I'm sorry, north end zone.
Rexy's lovely wife, Allie, promised me that he was not going to be rocking a T-shirt. She said, Mike,
No.
I love it.
No.
No deal.
Yeah, the whistle, the whole thing.
Yes. You blow it as loud as you can.
We'll
be up there.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, it's going to be really cool to be able to go out there and be on the field again and kind of get the crowd hyped up to kick the shit out of LSU.
I love it. Hey, Rex, here's another thing that I want you to think about. So the O-Dome parking lot where we'll be tailgating with none other than Fat P. So I've got my Gator helmet, and I'll have it adorned, and I'm hitting the tackle eligible face mask he has. We're going Oklahoma drills in the O-Dome parking lot, so you're gonna get to see me rough up old bad knee over there. So
Yeah, I'll hand the ball off and watch that shit.
oh, thank you, yes, sir. This
Yeah,
career made right here.
let's do it.
I love it. Thank you guys for joining in. That is Jumping Off Sides, episode 27 with the legendary Rex Grossman. Thank you for joining us tonight, buddy.
Thanks, Rex.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Oh, Great American Pillow Fight coming at you.
Man, take me out. Somebody just turned the go switch on these suckers and people are moving a lot faster. Something's going on, and I ain't ready.
Jumping Off Sides would like to thank one of our presenting sponsors, Rotag Portable Toilet Services. That's yesterday's Meals on Wheels, one of the nation's largest oil-filled toilet providers. Give Rotag a call.